just the journey itself, I guess. I've been with these guys in the room now for quite a while. Some of these guys since my freshman year. Just being on this journey with them and being on the journey with the coaches now, and I think they've seen me grown and they found out what I'm capable of. So I think it's just exciting for everyone and especially me. But it's exciting to do with the guys that you put the work in with all summer and all winter.
How comfortable are you getting the plays out to the guys with Aiden being out last week?
Yeah, that's something that, we do all the time at practice. That's something I've been doing for the last few years. That's something that I'm fine having on my plate, stepping into that role and having to make the calls. Someone's got to do it, so just someone had to step up, and I think, it's me.
How much has Aiden helped in that process maybe to kind of show the ropes in a way?
Yeah, it always helps, especially when we're out there, maybe I'm at the will position. He's the Mikey. We'll both get the calls from the sideline. So, it's never, trying to put it on one person's shoulders. I would try to help him out, practice, fall camp, get the calls to my side of the field and try to, alleviate some of his pressure and responsibility. But it's just part of the job.
He had a headset, it looked like, or at least listening in on Saturday. What was he telling you throughout the game? Anything that stood out?
No, just, really supportive. That's my guy. So he was just, just wanted to keep me calm, which, I thought he did a really good job, just being, a motivator, being a hype guy for the team. That's really important when, one of your better players isn't able to play.
Did you have any jitters when that was your first career start? What was your kind of thought for that moment?
I felt like I was pretty prepared to play. First career start, but obviously this year I've been playing a lot more, and so I've kind of, grown comfortable in playing in the role and, stepping up for, big games. And when you play in the Big Ten, every game's going to be a big game, so I don't really feel like I had any jitters.
You guys have had a lot of first-time in program history type moments. Got a chance for another one Saturday to win at Beaver Stadium. What's it like to have these opportunities?
Yeah, we always look forward to it. For us, it's just another Saturday, another game, and Beaver Stadium obviously is an awesome environment to play in. It's a historic place. I've been there once my sophomore year. It's just exciting to go up there and be with the guys you watch put in the work with, and to just keep making history as a team one step at a time.
Just give us a player's view. 100 and some thousand people you look up, and your thoughts are what?
Yeah, you get that when you play in the Big Ten. Some of these stadiums, they got the 100,000 players or fans, and so that's something you just try to tune out. You try to stay within the white lines and do the best you can, but it definitely has a role, and I think it plays into their favor. But we'll see on Saturday.
You were here with Lou in 2022 and 2023. Just where do you think he's grown the most in?
Definitely, just a leadership role. Just being maybe a more vocal guy in the room and then on the defense. And I think we have a lot of guys that are vocal on defense. Amari Farrell, Devin Boykin, Pons, Kamara, Fish. All the guys. I feel like that's what makes us really stand out as a defense. We have a lot of veteran guys that can play and are willing to step up and motivate the defense.
Were there aspects with Lou when he got back here in January that you could tell, like, okay, he's a new guy?
I think he kind of came in and saw how things had changed since he left, and I thought he kind of picked up on that. This is a new era at Indiana, and I think he really molded into the type of player he is now, coming back and seeing how we had changed here, and I think that kind of just elevated him and his game and his leadership, his role on the team.
From a preparation standpoint, how does the fact that Penn State's without a head coach, they have an interim, how does having a quarterback who's only made 2 starts since Drew Aller's injury, how does that affect your guys' preparation?
That doesn't affect us really at all. We're still going out there. You're still playing Penn State. You're still going up to Beaver Stadium. It's got 100,000 people. For us, we are on a mission to go 1-0 each week, and whoever's coaching or taking the snap at quarterback, that doesn't matter to us. We're just going out there to do our job and come out with the victory at the end. When
you watch tape, is there more recency bias? You're looking at more recent tape when Aller went out, after Aller went out, since the head coaching change?
Yeah, that's definitely, just scheme-wise. Obviously, they're not going to be able to run, maybe the same stuff they could when the previous quarterback. But we watch all the tape. The coaches watch all the tape, and, the breakdowns might be different based on, personnel, what they're capable of doing. But it kind of just all goes into it.
Coach Signetti called their running backs, Allen and Singleton, NFL guys. What sticks out to you guys about them?
Yeah, they've been elite running backs since I think they first got in here as freshmen, I remember them from a while ago, but yeah, those guys, they're like a 1-2 punch. They're really good playing off each other and complementing each other. They got a lot of skill sets, and it'll be an exciting matchup on Saturday.
You guys have had a number of younger guys sort of like emerge as the season comes along. Why do you think that happens? What is it? Is it them? Is it the coaching scheme? What is it?
Oh, it's definitely the coaching. I think we have some of the best coaches in the country from at all positions: corners, safeties, D line, linebackers. I think the coaches are really hard on us and push us to be our best because I think they don't recruit guys that they don't think can come in and play, and they want to bring the best out of each player. And I think that's something Coach Haynes starts at the top, and we push each other really hard in practice all the way from spring ball to fall camp to become the best players because you never know what happens. You never know who's going to have to step up, and so you always want even your young guys to be ready to have to step in and fill that role.
Kind of an extension of that. Keaton Turner gets playing time and goes down with injury. You guys are using 4 or 5 linebackers in that game. Not what you expected, obviously, when you draw it up. How are you able to kind of survive those kind of curveballs in a game like that?
Yeah, that's just something that you don't want to happen, but everyone in the room's got to be ready for it, and that's something I think all positions you hate to see your starting guys go down, but if you're the next guy up, if you're a 2, you're 1 play away from having go in the game, and you got to be able to play up to the standard, and I think KT did that, and so you really just hope for the best when those guys go in, and those guys are ready to go in. They won't be put in unless coaches know that they can do their job. So everyone's really confident if you get put in the game, you're going to do your job. So
thanks, Isaiah.
Thank you.
Thanks.